The forge of existence is not merely a place of creation, but a crucible of relentless transformation, where the molten passions of the soul are hammered against the unyielding anvil of a harsh, industrializing world. Rachel Schneider, the visionary architect of high-stakes industrial fantasy and masterful elemental-driven progression, returns to the front lines of the Fire and Metal saga with Light Wielder, Book 2. This isn't a story of whimsical spellcasting or comfortable magical mastery. It is a visceral, deeply intense plunge into the brutal logistics of magical resource management, the perilous collision between raw, uncontrollable power and the cold, unfeeling machinery of a steampunk empire, and the terrifying truth that when you wield the light, you become the primary target for those who seek to harness its heat for their own industrial carnage. Schneider hooks her audience instantly by constructing a high-stakes, hyper-focused trap, a protagonist whose light-wielding abilities are the only thing standing between her people and an all-consuming automated military machine. The narrative center zeroes in on the protagonist's calculated descent into the second heat, a state of heightened elemental engagement where the threshold between her humanity and the raw kinetic energy of the light begins to dangerously dissolve. As she traverses the soot-stained, gear-grinding industrial sprawl and the treacherous, volatile borderlands where magic still pulses in the earth, she realizes that the Empire's technological advancement is being fueled by the systematic extraction of her kind's life force. The investigation into the Empire's secret, massive energy siphons quickly escalates into a dangerous, high-stakes tactical chess match, as she discovers that the machines are not just consuming magic, they are beginning to think with a cold, terrifying autonomy. Forced to juggle the logistical nightmare of managing dwindling elemental reserves, the constant, suffocating threat of the Empire's steampunk inquisitors, and the mounting, undeniable encounter with the cost of her own evolution, she must synthesize a new way of existing, one built on tactical elemental fusion, radical improvised engineering, and an unyielding, purely human refusal to become the Empire's ultimate power source. Schneider's writing style is unapologetically mechanical, exceptionally fast-paced, and saturated with an intense, authentic blend of industrial technical jargon, sharp, sparking prose, and high-stakes environmental dread. She builds exceptional structural tension by pairing the mundane, aching routines of her life, calibrating her light-focusing tools, organizing subterranean resistance logistics, and enduring the quiet, crushing weight of leadership with the chaotic, nightmare-filled assaults of the Empire's shift-working, soul-harvesting machinery. The story moves forward with a relentless, momentum-driven energy, turning routine analytical probes, calculated maneuvers through the factory districts, and tense, high-stakes standoffs with lethal, gear-augmented enforcers into pulse-pounding steps closer to an inevitable, reality-defining confrontation. The presentation thrives on this sharp, analytical focus, making every discovered energy leak, every executed magical circuit overload, and every deep-seated fear confronted feel like a high-stakes victory for the human spirit. What makes Light Wielder, Fire and Metal, Book 2, an exceptional entry in the industrial fantasy canon is Schneider's unparalleled ability to develop a highly compelling, logic-driven protagonist whose elemental discipline is treated as a supreme navigational asset rather than a tragic, fading memory. Watch as she transforms her experience with the furnace heat of combat into a compass, learning to navigate the chaotic industrial labyrinth to outmaneuver an empire that operates with absolute, terrifying precision. As the structural walls of her resistance begin to collapse and the true scope of the Empire's final, soul-devouring machine is exposed, the pacing transforms into a breathless, heart-pounding race to maintain the shred of truth she carries before her identity is permanently unstitched by the Empire's relentless assembly line. The final act is an absolute masterclass in suspense, delivering a barrage of explosive emotional realizations, shattered paradigms, and a spectacular, jaw-dropping climax that completely leaves the reader thoroughly stunned. For fans of thrillers demanding a brilliant, character-driven, and masterfully paced exploration of industrialism and magic, this book delivers an unforgettable shockwave.